3D printing is a tool to us that we use to prove out objects throughout the design process. We're taking the solid model before we machine it and just printing a physical version of it. And we use it for multiple uses. It can be either for reference fitment. Sometimes we're just making sure it physically fits in an object, or checking clearance around other things. One of our biggest uses, actually, other than just printing parts themselves, is printing fixtures for our laser etching machine, which allows us to laser etch logos on parts, etch serial numbers, things like that. So we'll just print out these fixtures that actually get mounted in our laser machine, and we can place the objects in them and change them out quickly for each cycle of the laser. So those are our drain plugs, some things like our flanges. These flanges just get mounted in here in a fixed location and lasered over. And beyond that, we do the standard printing like you would imagine. We print our physical parts, right? So we print them to check for fitment, check for bolt hole spacing, check for routing, and make sure everything fits properly. We typically go through the design phase. We'll create the model and print the part, and once that gets approval, we'll go through and machine the component out of Ren board. This kind of Ren board is a good way to prove out your machining cycle, and it's other than having to go through a chunk of billet to machine the part and finding out there's an error in the machining process, it saves tooling, and it's a bit quicker of a process than going through a billet. Ren board is just a really high density foam. It has a really good finish and allows you to dimensionally hold tolerances so that the part is what you would expect it to be as finished. We've got a couple other ones like our caps. These caps, for example, this is a coolant cap. We also have an oil cap here, and for this application, you get a feel for it, right? You feel how all the grooves and all the features of the cap itself feel in your hand before going through and producing a billet version of it, and that way you can make some changes. These we were actually able to use functionally, well, at least to fit on the vehicle, not running it with the caps, but it allowed us to really get some functionality testing through before making a billet. Yeah. So this is a chain box cover for a 964, and this we printed, and it allows us to again fit on the chain box, make sure it works. Has all the tin mounting here and all the provisions to physically make sure it fits. First we'll start with the OEM cover, and we'll 3D scan it, and then transition that scan to develop a model.